Right, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm giving you my predictions for game week number 3 of the EFL Championship season 25-26. I can't believe we're already on game week 3. And here is the results from last week. I got one outcome right, that was Ipswich Southampton drawing 1-1. I got 5 outcomes correct, including that. And so I got 7 points this week, turning my points total for the season up to 13. And here is the championship table as it stands after 2 game weeks. And of course, as you can see, I am back in the UK. So without further ado, let's begin. And the first game up this week is Derby County against Bristol City. And both these sides had differing results last week, shall I say. Derby County lost in a bonkers match 5-3 to Coventry last week, and Bristol City drew 0-0 with Charlton Athletic. And what I have to say is never get me to predict the fate of Bristol City, because I'm terribly wrong. I said game week 1 they'd lose 3-1 to Sheffield United, beat them 4-1. I said they'd win 3-0 last week, drew 0-0. So I am not entirely sure which way to go on this one. And Derby, I do like at home. I do really like Derby at home. They can score goals there. But I do fancy Bristol City maybe more to be pushing for the playoffs now. I have been impressed with their start. You know what? I can see goals in this one. Let's start with a Desmond. A 2-2 draw for game number 1. And next up we've got Hull City against Blackburn Rovers. And Hull lost 3-2
Oxford
to Oxford
3-2 yesterday.
And Blackburn, I believe they lost 2-1 to Birmingham. I predicted them to lose to Birmingham. Not quite the scoreline, but with this one, Hull are the home side. I do like them at home, and they can score goals. But Blackburn have been very cagey this season, and I do fancy Blackburn to get the result here. I'm just thinking, what do I do? Which scoreline do I go? I'm going to go very low margin, very low scoring. Blackburn win it 1-0. I think there could only be one goal in it. It was either 1-0 or 2-1. I went with the 1-0. I can only see one goal, and that goal's going to Blackburn. And next up we've got Swansea City against Watford. And Swansea, I have been impressed with their start to the season. I think they've got a good start. They've been winning some games, and Watford I do prefer more at home. So I do think I might just back Swansea in this one. So I don't have much to talk about here. But let's go for, I believe it would be back-to-back wins for Swansea, correct me if I'm wrong. 2-1 Swansea. Let's go for a 2-1. I can see Watford going to Wales and not getting anything from the match. So 2-1 Swansea is where I'm going. The next game up is Charlton Athletic against Leicester City. And I remember saying last week, this is my downfall, right? I remember saying last week, if Leicester don't win this week, I'm not going to back them next week. And they lost 2-1 to Preston. Charlton got a 0-0 against Bristol City. I just don't think Leicester will lose to Charlton. But I'm not sure if they'll win. Yeah, if I had to pick a winner, I would pick Leicester. I think they've got to start winning to push up towards the playoffs, especially if a points deduction does come their way. I don't think that looks very likely at the minute, but I think they'll get a draw. I'm going to go 1-0. I think both sides would be happy with a point. Charlton is very much doing what they need to survive as well. And unfortunately I put them bottom, so yeah, that's not going to happen really, is it? But 1-1 is what I've gone for, and yeah, moving the chains. Next we've got a tasty match. It's Preston against Ipswich. And Ipswich have started the season strong with 2 draws out of 2 matches against Birmingham and Southampton. They haven't been easy games, but Preston have been exceeding my expectations rapidly from the start of the season. I didn't expect them to beat Leicester last week in the way they did, and that was at home. This is also at home against another tricky side in Ipswich. I don't know. I could see Preston getting a result here. Do I put all my eggs in one basket here? Because I like what Paul Heckingbottom is doing with that team at the minute. You know what? Let's go for Ipswich's tricky start to get even trickier. Preston 2-1. I'm going to back Preston to win. I don't know how many times I'm going to back Ipswich to lose this season. Not many, but here's one I could see actually coming in. So 2-1 Preston and the surprise upset. Next up we've got Wrexham against Sheffield Wednesday. 2 clubs with differing fates. Now Wrexham have got 2 defeats. Both, I believe, 2-1. 2-1 to Southampton, and then 3-2 to West Brom last week. We've got Wrexham against Sheffield Wednesday. 2 clubs with differing fates. Now Wrexham have got 2 defeats. Both, I believe, 2-1. 2-1 to Southampton, and then 3-2 to West Brom last week. But of course, those are 2 tricky sides, and I think Sheffield Wednesday, with all due respect, I think they are a easier side to beat this season, and I could just see Wrexham running circles around them. But Sheffield Wednesday, I mean, they've been impressive so far this season, only just losing 2-1 to Leicester, and then last week, I can't remember what they did. But they've impressed me so far this season. They haven't been rolled over like I thought they would. However, this could be their trickiest match yet. I'm going to, especially with Wrexham being at home, I'm going to edge them. I'm going to say Wrexham win it 3-1. I was originally going 2-1. I've actually added a goal. I like some of the players they have, and I could see Wrexham rolling them over here. And next up, we go to St Mary's for Southampton against the league leaders Stoke. And Stoke have had 2 great results, winning it 3-1 and 3-0 respectively. Southampton beat Wrexham 2-1 and then drew 1-1 with Ipswich. And that 1-1 last week, that is kind of annoying because it could have been a win, but the ball bounced off of Taylor Harwood-Bellis and into the back of the net. So it went down as an own goal. And then Robinson scored to equalise, and there wasn't any more goals after that. And then Stoke, well, what a start to the year they've had. I'm really liking their style of play under Mark Robbins. Do I think they can continue though? Because it was against easier sides. And I don't think Southampton at home is going to be easy. People may call me stupid for not even backing a goal, but I'm going for a Southampton win and clean sheet here. 2-0. Let's go 2-0 Saints, and let's keep marching on. Next up, we've got Norwich City against Middlesbrough. And now, Norwich did win 2-1 last week. It's the second 2-1 in a row if you include the Carabao Cup result. And Middlesbrough, I believe, won 1-0 against Millwall last week, so that is 2 good results for them. However, Norwich are at home, and I've been slightly more impressed by Norwich this season. over Middlesbrough. I fancy both these sides, again, as I always say, to be pushing on for the playoffs. But I do think Norwich have the edge here. You know what? Let's go 3 matches in a row. Let's go another 2-1 Norwich. But I think this will be the first time it's been at home. And, you know, the likes of Sargent are still, you know, banging in the goals. And I like their squad. And I'm just going to edge Norwich on this one. Next up, we've got West Brom against Portsmouth. And I think I've been back in Portsmouth to get results this season. And I think my West Brom predictions have kind of gone under the radar a bit. I think West Brom are certainly, they're a strong side, and I think I haven't backed them to get results as frequently as I should. But with them being back at the Hawthorns, I think they could get this. I think this might be the first time I've predicted Portsmouth to lose this season. I'm going to go for a Wrexham win. A West Brom win. I've got the last week's game in my head, clearly. Now, I'm going West Brom 2-1. Again, I no, it's the same scoreline, I'm sorry, but West Brom 2-1. I could see it being maybe 1-1, and West Brom getting a last-minute winner, and the Hawthorns erupts. And I could see West Brom getting this result just over the line. Next up, we've got Sheffield United against Millwall. And these two sides are not easy opponents usually either. But Sheffield United have not looked impressive at the start of the season, really, have they? I mean, I did not see them losing 4-1 to Bristol City on the opening day. In fact, they're bottom of the table right now. And Millwall are kind of course, it's just 2 games, they're kind of doing what I thought they'd do. I think throughout the season they'll push towards the playoffs. I think both these sides will start pushing on, start winning some matches here, gradually as the season progresses. I don't know which way to go here. I'm kind of leaning towards Millwall for a win here, but seeing as it is at Sheffield United's ground, I'm going to give them a goal and a draw. 1-1. I could see there not being many goals, but I can see both teams settling for a point. Sheffield United gets off the bottom and Millwall gets a point close to the playoffs, so 1-1 is where I'm going. And next up we've got Coventry against QPR. And oh my god, that comeback from Coventry last week against Derby County. They were 3-2 down and they came back to win 5-3. What a result. And especially away from home as well, at Derby's ground. What a match that must have been. So Coventry, they are cooking with gas right now. They are absolutely flying. And QPR, I just don't think it's a good time to go to the CBS arena and play Coventry, especially after a result like that. I think it's going to be slightly less goals, but a more dominant victory here. I'll go Coventry 3-0. I think this could be the high-scoring match of the week. And I could just as easily give QPR a goal, but I just can't look past that performance last week from Coventry. And especially at home, I think Coventry might have quite the advantage, quite the upper hand. So 3-0 Coventry is where I'm going. And then finally, we've got Birmingham against Oxford United. And Oxford,
they went on to lose 3-2 against Hull yesterday.
And Birmingham got the 2-1 victory over the line against Blackburn. Which way do I go with this one? Birmingham, they did obviously win. And Birmingham are the home side. And what I noticed is, they dominated the League One last season. But it wasn't like comfortable wins. It was like 1-0s or 2-1s or 2-0s or something. And Oxford, well, they can score goals. So I'm going to back the home side. I'm going to back Birmingham. I'm going to go 2-1 because Birmingham tend to grind out results like 2-1 a lot of the time to bang in the 3 points. And I think Birmingham might just have enough to get their first win at St Andrews this season. And there you have it, guys. All 12 championship matches for another game week done and dusted. And yeah, we'll see how well these predictions come in. And I'm going to make my Game Week 2 Premier League predictions. And they're going to come out later in the week. So at some point this week. So stay tuned for that. And I'll see you later.